welcome to today's lecture, novel drug delivery system, in which ocular drug delivery system. Earlier in the previous lecture, we discussed the fundamentals and various points related to ocular drug delivery systems. A continuation to that, today we are covering the remaining portion. Today we are covering the three headings: a conventional drug delivery system in the ophthalmic, and a novel drug delivery system, and the conclusions. Let we can discuss one by one. Today, the first one is conventional drug delivery systems. Conventional delivery systems, those preparations very traditionally consuming for the eye-related disease, that is called as conventional drug delivery system. This includes eye drops containing solutions, suspensions, emulsions. The product looks like say drops, we can say eye drops, but pharmaceutical definition, it may be a solutions, it may be a suspensions, it may be emulsions of drug. And semi-solid preparations, mostly the eye ointment, very commonly used is a chloromenical eye ointment. These preparations, when installed into the eye, are rapidly removed from the ocular cavity by tear flow and nasolacrimal drainage. This is very conventional delivery system, very good for the patient comfortability and protection aspect, but the challenging is these preparations, that means eye drops and eye ointment, these preparations when installed into the eye, they are very rapidly removed from the ocular cavity by the tear flow and possibly nasolacrimal drainage systems. So, what are the most common disadvantage of this conventional delivery system is poor bioavailability, because the drainage, the product will be easily drained out from the lacrimal secretions, nasolacrimal secretions and tear flow. So, ultimately the bioavailability is very poor. So, that required the frequent dosing. Those people are working in offices and computers, it's very difficult to use the product every 2 hours, 3 hours, because it is practical feasibilities are very limited. And once the product installed into the eye, interference with the vision. Suppose we are putting the eye ointment in the ophthalmic cavity, the blurredness after at least minimum half an hour, the product will be getting to distributed. The base, the ointment base, they will interfere with the visions. These are the major disadvantages from the conventional drug delivery systems of ophthalmic usage. What are the advantages? So, in this system having a number of advantages. For the sake of from the industry perspective, ease of bulk scale manufacturing. The formulation of eye product, particularly the conventional product, solutions, suspensions and emulsions and eye ointment, from a manufacturing perspectives, it is easy for bulk scale production. And high patient acceptability. High patient acceptability is very important. Drug product efficacy, stability and cost effectiveness. So, these are the major advantages from the conventional drug delivery systems of ophthalmic. Alternate drug delivery routes. So, now we are coming to the possible other option for the ophthalmic drug delivery by changing the route of administration, that is called as alternate drug delivery routes. The first one is intravitreal injections, IVI. It involves delivering the drug formulation directly into the vitreous humor, the part of the eye. Coming slides, we can show in the different type of injections where to be injected in the particular part of the eye in the after 2 slides. So, IVI, it involves the delivering the drug formulation directly into the vitreous humor. It provides direct access to the various parts of the body, that is organ, ophthalmic body, that is we can say fundus body, that is a part of the eye, vitreous, and avoid both the cornea and also sclera blood vessels. That means this IVI route provides the direct access to the vitreous and avoid both the cornea and sclera blood vessels. That means the drug systemic absorption will be get prevented. Formulations such as solution, suspension and depot formulations can be administered through this route. Whether conventional drug delivery systems or depot formulations, both effectively delivered through the IVI route. Adverse effects are retinal detachment, cataract, hyperemia and endophthalmia. These are the possible adverse effects from the IVI, from the alternate route of the drug into the ophthalmic cavity. Next, another alternate approach injection is subconjunctival injection. This injection delivers the drug beneath the conjunctival membrane that lines the inner surface of the eyelids. It avoids both cornea and conjunctiva, allowing the drug direct access to the sclera. It has lesser side effect when compared to intravitreal injections. Comparatively, that is IVI, the subconjunctival injections having less adverse effect. The excellent route for delivering hydrophilic drugs, depot forming formulations and macromolecules. This route, conjunctival route, is excellent for delivering the hydrophilic drugs, depot forming formulations and macromolecules. See, as I told in the previous point, the various route of drug administration in the eye. Here they very clearly given the picture illustrating the from the top to down, from the clockwise direction, retrobulbar injection, where the injection, the diagrammatic illustrations are given where the drugs to be injected, the route of drug injection to the ophthalmic system, different parts of the eye illustrated in the figure. From the top clockwise direction I am explaining, retrobulbar injections are injected to the near the back side of the eye, and systemic, the blood circulation route, the blood supply to the ophthalmic eye system, and below that subtenon injection on the surface of the eye, and after that subconjunctival injections, that is the drug will be injected through the conjunctiva injection, that is called subconjunctival injection, followed by intracameral injection, that is the arrow mark indicating the camera lens, the camera injection, intracameral injections inject to the near the lens. Topical route, that is the eye drops, we are applying the eye drops like that. Eye drops means eye suspension, eye emulsion, eye solutions. Then last one, intravitreal injections, that is directly injected to the vitreous chamber of the eye. So these are the diagrammatic understanding, the various alternate route for the drug administration in the eye and related parts of the eye. So with this connection, now that route of administration is retrobulbar and peribulbar route, where retrobulbar injection is given through the eyelid and orbital fascia, and it places the drug into the retrobulbar space. It causes minor or no change in the IPO. This IPO means intraocular pressure. That means retrobulbar and peribulbar route of the drug administration to the eye, it causes minor or no change in intraocular pressure. Adverse effect, it may damage the optic nerve. The chances are there. This route of administration mostly they will affect the optic nerve systems. Peribulbar route of drug delivery involves injections above and or below the eye globe. It is also a viable route for the delivery of anesthesia in cataract and surgery. So particularly in the eye, the cataract removal, that is called as ophthalmic surgery. For that conditions, the anesthesia may be given to the eye. Accordingly, this retrobulbar peribulbar route may be mostly used for the treatment for or surgery for cataract. It is a safer route compared to retrobulbar route. It is a retrobulbar route. Rise in intraocular pressure have been reported. Rise in intraocular pressure have been reported in the experimental report journals. Intracameral injections, these injections deliver the drug into the anterior chamber of the eye. It is generally employed for anterior segment procedures such as cataract surgery, like that in the previous one. For the treatment of cataract surgery, intracameral injections are also to be used as an alternate route of drug administration in the ophthalmic and eye systems. It is an efficient and more cost effective method of delivering antibiotics, mostly the antibiotics that will be delivered through the cost effective method to the eye and eye cavity by the intracameral injections. So, now our ultimate goal is novel drug delivery systems in the ophthalmic drug delivery. So, what are the object, outcome, what are the possible features in the novel drug delivery system when the scientists are developing a product? What are the features to be keep in mind? The first point is to increase accurate dosing, very important. The dosing, maintaining the therapeutic range in the delivery of the drug in the system, ophthalmic cavity. That means to increase accurate dosing, very important. To overcome the side effect produced by the conventional systems, side effect in the ophthalmic drops, that means solutions, suspensions and emulsions, eye ointment, these are the conventional systems that are possible side effects that should be controlled or minimized or totally eradicated by the novel drug delivery system in the ophthalmic method delivery drug. To provide sustained and controlled drug delivery, that means in the conventional method we are frequently using the eye drops or eye ointment. In the novel method we can reduce the frequency of the dosing, that is called as sustained and controlled delivery of the drug. To increase the ocular bioavailability, mostly the bioavailability is maximum of 7% in the ophthalmic system. So, as a controlled drug delivery, we can try to improve the bioavailability of the drug by increasing the corneal contact time, the drug dosage form, and the contact time between the cornea to be increased. That means bioavailability increased. To provide targeting within the ocular globe, so as to prevent the loss of other ocular tissues, very important. To overcome the protective barriers like drainage, lacrimation and conjunctival absorption. So, eye having the number of barriers, that is conjunctival absorption barrier and drainage, lacrimation, that to be overcome by protective barriers like drainage, lacrimation and conjunctival absorption. To provide comfort and better compliance to the patient and to improve therapeutic performance of the drug, very important. The patient comfortability and compliance and improved therapeutic performance of the drug, these are the expected outcome from the novel ophthalmic drug delivery systems. Now, we can let us discuss some various examples in the ocular drug delivery system in the novel approach. The first one is vesicular systems. The first one, the vesicular system is liposomes. These are biodegradable, non-toxic and amphiphilic delivery systems usually formulated with the phospholipids and cholesterol. Liposomes are prepared from the phospholipids and cholesterols. They are having an amphiphilic nature. They can be utilized for both improving permeability and as well as sustain the release of the entrapped drug. That means the absorption, improving permeability means absorption of the drug through the barriers of the eye. That means they can be utilized for both improving bioavailability, that means absorption once increased, ultimately the bioavailability increased, as well as controlling, sustaining the release of the entrapped drugs. Liposomes sustain the release of therapeutic agents into vitreous and retina choroid and avoid non-coordinated tissues, sclera and lens. Liposomes sustain the release of therapeutic agents into the vitreous and retina choroid and avoid non-targeted tissues. That means the unwanted wastage of the drug will be reduced, particularly to the sclera and the lens. So, the limitations in these liposomes, the chemical instability, very important. This is practical difficulties. The industry point of view, they are working to make more stable, but practically because we are using the phospholipids and cholesterol, these are the material easily get oxidized, that is called as stability will be very poor. Oxidative degradation of the phospholipids, cost and purity of natural phospholipids. The cost and purity of the material is very important. These are the limitations in the liposome vesicular system for the ophthalmic delivery. And the second example in the novel delivery system, the ophthalmic, neosomes and discosomes. Neosomes means non-ionic surfactant used for the as a carrier. Discosomes is again the non-ionic surfactant modified form. These are bilayer structures which can entrap both hydrophilic and lipophilic drugs at a one cell, one side one type of drug and another side another type of drug. There is a hydrophilic drug and also lipophilic drugs. Both drug, by using these neosome and discosome approaches, we can put the drug hydrophilic and lipophilic drugs. These non-ionic surfactant bilayers exhibit low toxicity and are chemically stable, and the liposomes are chemically less stable, but neosomes and discosomes non-ionic surfactant bilayers exhibit low toxicity and are chemically stable. Neosomes are also used in the modified form, that is discosomes in ophthalmology. Discosomes contain non-ionic surfactants. These vesicles fit better in cul-de-sac. Cul-de-sac means the near to the this portion I call as cul-de-sac. This will be very much good for the delivery of the drug to the cul-de-sac fit in the ophthalmic, are not drained into systemic circulation because of their larger size. Because of the neosomes and discosomes larger size, they are very difficult to drain the drug in the systemic circulations. They have high entrapment efficiency, that is a drug loading entrapment will be very high in the neosomes and discosomes comparatively the liposomes. Control these systems and again implant. That first we discussed the vesicular systems, then come to the controllable systems, implants, that is ophthalmic implants, Accushert. These are the commonly available product. So now we can go for some brief discussion about the implants on the ophthalmic system. Implants are devices that control drug release by utilizing various degradable or non-biodegradable polymeric membranes. By using the various exploiting the polymers in the ophthalmic delivery system, we can design some implants. Most commonly used polymers are polyvinyl alcohol PVA, polyethylene acetate EVA. Ethylene vinyl acetate EVA are most commonly used non-biodegradable polymer for the preparation of implant in the ophthalmic systems. So, most big advantage of this is low burst effect. That means the release of the drug will be very much controlled. So, low burst effect. Disadvantages, the implant need to be surgically removed. After putting the implant in the ophthalmic cavity, after some particular duration, that to be removed by some minor surgical operations. Biodegradable polymers such as polylactic acid, polyglycolic acid are safe but undergo enzymatic and are non-enzymatic hydrolysis. In the place of PVA, EVA, we can use the biodegradable polymers that will be easily bioerodied by the system itself by hydrolyzing mechanisms. It leads to bulk erosion of encapsulated drug rather than surface erosion. The drug release mechanism of the carrier, biodegradable polymers, leads to the bulk erosion of encapsulated drug rather than surface erosion of the carrier. Then contact lenses, very commonly they are using for the cosmetic purpose also and therapeutic purpose also, contact lenses. Contact lenses can absorb water soluble drugs when soaked in drug solutions. The contact lenses is like a polymer material, we can put into the drug solution, they will absorb the drug and put it to the eye for a particular 24-hour cycle. When you are sleeping, at the time put into the drug solution, the drug loaded, then next day you can put into the eye. So, in the way contact lenses are most usefully for the therapeutic purpose and also some cosmetic purpose also without drug. They are placed in the eye for releasing the drug for a long period of time. That means extended duration, almost 24-hour cycle. That can be used to prolong the ocular residence time of drug in the ophthalmic cavity. Artificial tear inserts, that is called as Lagrange. This phenomenon they are developed for those people having a dry eye-ness, dry eye. There is a very the lacrimal secretions are very limited. Accordingly, the dryness of the eye leads to the irritation. So, the most of the report available, the dryness leads to the eye sensitive to irritations, particularly working computers and televisions. So we can, as a pharmaceutical scientist, they developed artificial tear inserts. That means in the brand name Lagrichette. This is a rod-shaped pellet of hydroxypropyl cellulose without preservatives. This is like a polymer material, hydroxypropyl cellulose without a preservatives. This device is designed as a sustained release artificial tear for the treatment of dry eye disorders. Then move on to the another one, the ocular delivery system, microneedles. Control release system, microneedles. It is used to deliver drug to a posterior ocular tissues. It may reduce the risk and complication associated with intravitreal injections such as retinal detachment, hemorrhage and cataract. The microneedles are used for the purpose of the intravitreal injections. They will produce some unwanted effect, retinal detachment, hemorrhage, cataract. By using the microneedle approaches, we can reduce the risk produced by the intravitreal injections. It may help to avoid blood-retinal barrier. It may help to avoid blood-retinal barrier and deliver therapeutic drug level to retina choroid region. These needles to help to deposit drug or carrier system into the sclera or onto the narrow space present between sclera and choroid called suprachoroidal space. This method, microneedle method, they will try to avoid blood-retinal barrier and deliver therapeutic drugs into directly retina or choroid. These needles help to deposit drug or carrier system into the sclera or into the narrow space between the sclera and choroid called suprachoroidal space. For intraocular delivery of the drug, microneedle surface coated with the drug. The intraocular delivery of the drug, that is for the glaucoma, for that the surface coated needle, microneedle surface coated with the drugs. Use of microneedles, nanoparticle suspensions and microparticles were also delivered into the sclera by microneedles. Use of microneedles, nanoparticle suspensions and microparticles were also being delivered into the sclera by microneedles. Ocular iontophoresis, another very common example in the control system of the ophthalmic release. Iontophoresis is the process in which a direct current drives in ions into the cells or tissues. By using the electrical current from the system, iontophoresis is the process in which direct current drives ions into cells and tissues. When iontophoresis is used to drug delivery, the ions of importance are charged molecules of the drug. Suppose the drug molecules having a positive or negative charges, accordingly they get ionized, they try to produce the electrical current. If the drug molecules carry a positive charge, molecules carry a positive charge, they are driven into the tissues at the anode. If it is negatively charged, it will be at the cathode side. Ocular iontophoresis offers a drug delivery system that is fast, painless and safe. Very, very important. This point is very, very important for the patient point of view. It is a painless, the fast method and the safest method. And the result is the delivery of the high concentration of the drug to a specific site. By ocular iontophoresis techniques, we can deliver the high concentration of the drug to the specific site in the ophthalmic cavity and eye. Collagen sealed, that are another approach of the controlled release is called as collagen sealed. It has excellent biocompatibility and safety, biodegradability and weak antigenicity. Because we are putting any new one into the eye, they are trying to produce allergy, that is called as antigenicity. But collagen sealed, that having a better biocompatibility and safety, biodegradability and weak antigenicity, that means allergy will be negligible. These seals are hydrated before they are placed onto the eye. This sealed, collagen sealed, that will be hydrated before putting into the eye, having been stored in a dehydrated state. Typically, the drug is loaded into the drug solution for a period of time prior to the applications. Like that contact lens, we are putting in the contact lens to the drug solution, collagen shield also to be put into the drug solution prior to the applications for loading. They often produce some discomfort and interfere with the visions. That is some practical difficulties to the patient point of view. They often produce some discomfort and interfere with the visions. The last one, AccuShirt, that is called as intraocular inserts. It is a flat, flexible, elliptical device designed to be placed in the interior cul-de-sac between sclera and the eyelids to release the drug into a sustained manner. It is mostly commonly available in the market, industrial from the ophthalmic stores. It is a flat, flexible, elliptical device designed to be placed into the inferior cul-de-sac between sclera and the eyelids to the release of the drug into a sustained manner. The last one, particulate system, that is nanoparticles and microparticles. That is comes in category of particulate system, vesicular system, control system. The third one is a particulate system. Particulate polymeric drug delivery system include the micro and nanoparticles. Based on the particles, the dimension of the particles may be micrometers or nanometers. That will be classified as a nanoparticles and microparticles, then totally called as a particulate system. Particulate polymeric drug delivery system include micro and nanoparticles. The upper size limit of microparticle for ophthalmic administration is about 5 to 10 micron. The particle size range, the maximum perimetrial particle size range is 10 micron, 5 to 10 micron. Above this size range, the scratching feeling in the eye can result after ocular applications. If the particle size is greater than 5 to 10 micron, what happens? Scratching feeling when after installing the product into the eye, they try to produce some unwanted itching sensation. Because of the particle size increases, they produce some scratching feeling. Microspheres and nanoparticles represent promising drug carrier for ophthalmic applications. Microspheres, nanoparticles represent promising drug carrier for ophthalmic applications. The binding of the drug depends upon the physicochemical property of the drug. The binding from the nanoparticle and microparticle, these are the carrier system. The drug will be binded in the nanoparticle, either nanoparticle or a microparticle, depends upon our particle dimensions. The binding of the drug depends upon the physicochemical property of the drug as well as nano microparticle polymer, that is the carrier systems. The physicochemical property of the drug and the physicochemical property of the polymers, the dimension of the nano range or micro range of the polymer, what we are supposed to using in the formulation development. Particulates such as nanoparticles, nanocapsules, microemulsions, nanosuspensions improve the bioavailability of the ocularly applied drugs, because our object is to improve the bioavailability, to improve the residence time, to improve the permeation. These are our object. Accordingly, particulates such as nanoparticles, nanocapsules, microemulsions, nanosuspensions, they are improved the bioavailability of the ocularly applied drugs. So, thank you for today's lecture. That is ocular drug delivery systems. With these conclusions, today we discussed the conventional drug delivery systems, controlled drug delivery systems, and finally conclusions. So, by these three headings, we can conclude today's lecture. Thank you.